Almighty God, creator and ruler of heaven and earth, we beseech thee to inspire and guide all our counsels and actions, so that we may always walk in the path of justice, love, and charity to one another. Help us with thy grace to do only those things that will promote the unity, peace, happiness, and prosperity of Nigeria.
I represent Martin Munonganze Federal Constituency of Borno State. My motion reads thus. Recent attack by Boko Haram insurgents at Aune village, Borno State. The House note that Aune village is situated on the Maiduguri-Damaturu Road, Borno State. Also, the House note that because of the security challenges in the northeast zone of the country, commuters on the Damaturu-Maiduguri Road are compelled to suspend their journey once it is 6 p.m. Aware that Aune village is one of the spots where the Nigerian Armed Forces instructs the commuters on the Damaturu-Maiduguri Road to spend the night before proceeding their journeys the next morning. Again aware that on Sunday, 9 February 2020, while commuters in their hundreds are waiting in the Aune village, the military left them to their fate or at best abandoned them. Disturbed that while the commuters were waiting to spend the night, Boko Haram insurgents attacked, kidnapped, and burned some of their vehicles. Concerned that the occupants of 2 former buses and 1 Sharon bus were kidnapped, 18 vehicles burned, and 30 people killed, including an infant. Also concerned that no super military camp exists on the Damaturu-Maiduguri Road, hence exposing the commuters to danger of being killed, maimed, or kidnapped. I regret that keeping commuters in waiting is dangerous in view of the security challenges in the northeast zone of Nigeria. Resolves to direct the military authority to henceforth stop the keeping of commuters overnight at a particular period on the Maiduguri-Damaturu Road. Direct the military authority to allow commuters proceed on their journey, even if it is after 6 p.m. Mandate the Committee on Defense and Army to ensure compliance. I so move. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, it is now public knowledge that on the 9th of this month, along the Maiduguri-Damaturu Road, about 30 commuters who are on their way to Maiduguri but were compelled by the military authorities to spend the night in Aune village were attacked by Boko Haram insurgents. 30 of them were killed, including an infant. About 18 vehicles were burnt, and then 2 vehicles full of commuters were kidnapped, and up to now their whereabouts are unknown. It is in the public domain, and all the media is awash with this story. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, the painful aspect of this ugly, unfortunate incident is that the practice is whenever it is 4 o'clock, commuters that have commenced their journey from other parts of the country to Maiduguri will normally not reach Maiduguri before 6 o'clock. So commuters are now compelled to spend the night in one village called Auno, about 15 kilometers to Maiduguri. So sometimes you can find about 100 vehicles, sometimes even as much as 200 vehicles spending the night in Auno village, preparatory to their departure to Maiduguri the next morning in compliance with the directive of the military authorities. But the unfortunate thing is that ordinarily it behoves on the military authority, in view of the security challenges that we are having in that part of the country, to give adequate security and protection to these commuters that were forced to spend the night in that village based on the directive of the military authorities. But unfortunately, once it is 4 o'clock and the commuters are amassed in that spot, the military will just close the gate and then go to Maiduguri before coming back the following day. So this exposed these commuters, mass of commuters, to a lot of vulnerabilities. And Boko Haram cashed on that opportunity, came and attacked those commuters that were amassed in that village, killed about 30 of them, kidnapped 2 buses full of commuters, and then burned about 18 vehicles. So in view of that, we are now craving for the indulgence of this honorable house, being representative of the people, and security and welfare of the people being the primacy of any government, to now direct the military authorities to give enough security to commuters that were forced to compel or were compelled to spend the night in Auno village, so that they will not be exposed to attack by Boko Haram. Or in the alternative, if they cannot give enough security to those commuters that were forced to spend the night in Auno village, allow them to proceed to Maiduguri.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, let me start by not only thanking the mover of the motion, which of course is an action at an appropriate time. I would like to, first of all, on behalf of the House, entire membership and leadership of this House, commiserate and condole with the government and the people of Borno State, and by extension, the government and the people of Nigeria for this very unfortunate incident that took place in Auno village, I think an outskirt of Borno municipality, Maiduguri municipality. After my condolence, Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the House, I have 2 or 3 observations to make about this motion. Enough has been discussed, day in, day out, Mr. Speaker. Our security problems is becoming out of hand. And time has come when this House as an institution must take an appropriate action to help the security infrastructure to be doing the right thing at the right time. Mr. Speaker, I may not have the knowledge. Of course, I'm not a professional in the military business. And of course, I believe a lot of our members may not have similar knowledge because they are not military men here. A lot of us are not military men. But for whatever wisdom, for whatever reasons, for whatever intelligence, military will have to now keep a checkpoint, not a checkpoint, a close point, closing an entry to a particular city for whatever reason, Mr. Speaker, is something that we must have to look at, and the military men must be told to look at this strategy, no matter how strategic that strategy is. The Auno case is only one example. There are several other examples where this kind of security checkpoints at the outskirts of major cities of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, some of these things happen. Sometimes not Boko Haram attack, sometimes an accident. A tanker, fuel tanker, while series of cars are stopped on the road, a tanker, fuel tanker can burst into fire because of this unfortunate development, and it affects so many other people, so many other commuters and motorists on the road. I want to say, Mr. Speaker, even when I'm not a military man, I know you are not a military man too. A lot of members are not military men too. But using common intelligence, even by native intelligence, this is a strategy that the military must have to look at again. They have to review it, Mr. Speaker. Review it so that we can save the lives of our people. This is an incident that was avoidable. It could have been avoided. Unfortunately, it was not avoided. I also want to stand here to say, without compromising or without undermining, without any prejudice to whatever commitment Nigerian military have in protecting the lives and property of our own people, that time has come when our military chiefs and every other military personnel in the Nigerian armed forces must rise to his responsibility so that our people can be protected and their property also protected. Because they
represent the good people of our North Church Referral constituency. I'm from Delta State. Mr. Speaker, let me thank Mongonu that he brought up this motion. But you know, every day we keep repeating ourselves on this floor as it relates to insecurity. That bothers me. When beggars die, there is no comment. They heaven themselves the death of princes. I see no reason why on this floor, Mr. Speaker, we passed a resolution as it relates to the service chiefs. And nothing has been done. And if you read the motion carefully, you will see that the motion is talking about negligence, about the army officers leaving their duty posts and getting those who voted us into office to be just killed. To me, that is inhuman. And it's very bad. And it is not something that we wished or they wished in the course of them standing in the sun to vote for us. So I still stand by that call that those service chiefs have outlived their usefulness. Mr. Speaker, if you recall, last week I forwarded you a video that the soldiers in that northeast is trending. And what were they saying? That they were starving and that they were not being given anything. And that is why they are not able to do anything. And they were showcasing the arms that they had. That the Boko Haram people have more sophisticated weapons than them. It is an eyesore. We are treating it this way, but it is very bad. To think that every now and then we keep on coming here to discuss on the same matter, I think that it's hard time. State of emergency is declared in the security sector. That will help us to solve some of these problems. And it's very bad, it's very pathetic. And I wonder how people sleep in their houses, their service chiefs, and people are being slaughtered every day in Northeast. Our brothers and sisters are slaughtered. In some cases, like our colleague has just submitted, where somebody was thrown into the fire. Mr. Speaker, when you also watch the video that is trending, how the camp chairman was killed, he was beheaded. He was beheaded, cut into pieces. This is unacceptable. And these people voted us. My worry, and I keep saying it, and it looks like a child's play, my worry is that one day, we probably all will be chased out of this chamber. Because they will say we'll keep coming here to say the same thing and the same thing and the same thing and nothing is happening. Just last week also, just like somebody submitted, the same people went to a bank and you needed to see what happened. It was an eyesore. A human being's brain pulled out with AK-47 and most of them were slaughtered on the floor. And we call ourselves that we are Nigerians and that we should go into our bedroom and sleep safe and sound. It can't happen. So I think that it is hard time the right thing is done. I believe that Mr. President is a man that is empathic to the plight of Nigerians. And that was why Nigerians stood firmly and voted for him. Politics has come and passed. Now it's governance. I think that we should take it as a serious matter. I still stand by the resolution of this House that the service chiefs have outlived their usefulness. They should go. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Is where I represent. Mr. Speaker, as you are aware, and the entire House is aware, my voice is low today, not because of anything, because I went to the scene in person. I went to Maiduguri to attend 4 wedding ceremonies of my younger brothers and sisters, but my celebration mood was completely bastardized after I heard what happened in Auno. I went there in person and I saw it. And I had the privilege of having a direct encounter with a villager that is more or less an eyewitness to that particular attack. And the most touching aspect of that particular attack is that it recorded wasting 30 or more than 30 lives, including an infant. According to that particular source, as the insurgents were trying to drag the mother of that particular infant, the infant was crying, holding her wrapper. By the time they realize that he is going to constitute nuisance for them to go away with the mother, they decided to pull him and put him in the fire. Mr. Speaker, that was so pathetic. On the part of properties damaged, more than 20 vehicles were reduced to ashes, and each vehicle is containing valuables, millions of naira, worth millions of naira. Unfortunately, among the vehicles that were destroyed, there was a military tanker carrying AGO and other related petroleum products. So I don't want to understand, how can a military roadblock block a military tanker and refuse that particular tanker access to Maiduguri town? Another thing, which is so pathetic also, by the time they locked the gate, 15 minutes preceding the actual time designated for that particular closure, they left the checkpoint. And for your information, the gate linking that particular community with Damaturu was equally locked. So the commuters were left helpless, and they were exposed to this attack. And to the best of our knowledge and from the feelers we have been hearing, this attack was preventable, this attack was dodgeable, this attack was avoidable, and it was equally repellable. But failure or inability on the part of the Nigerian army to have a constructive listening of intelligence gathering from the DSS and other relevant informants in the community led to this attack. From the feelers, they have been receiving and communicating that there is a potential attack by Boko Haram insurgents, as they were sighted in community A and they are coming to community B 3 or 4 hours preceding the time of the attack. But nobody cares to do anything. So the world is watching us. I said, without fear of any contradiction, I am ready to give out my life if people in the Northeast can live in peace. The most painful thing on earth is for you to stay in your comfort zone while your constituents are dying like animals. So, Mr. Speaker, as far as I'm concerned, this is a national issue. It happened today in Borno. Only God knows tomorrow where it will happen in the 36 states of the Federation, because of negligence or complacency of our security operatives. Another thing, Mr. Speaker, there was what was introduced by the Nigerian army known as Super Camp, is the contributing factor of all these sporadic attacks from late last year to early this year. The issue of Super Camp, or the concept of Super Camp, called for the closure and withdrawal of all military bases and military checkpoints and military formation along all major roads, and station them in one location or position. I don't think the entire security operatives were widely consulted for that particular decision. I don't think standing committees on security of this honorable chamber were consulted. for them to take that decision. And to us, the end victims, is a deliberate attempt by the Nigerian army to shield themselves against Boko Haram insurgents' attack, thereby exposing civilians to series of attacks, shielding themselves in the sense that they operate a super camp, thinking that they will be repelling attack continuously. For how long shall we be repelling attack instead of taking offensive?
Fulata, I represent Berniwa, Krika Samba, Gulifata constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Jigawa State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, throughout Yobe and Borno states, there is this tendency by security operatives to block the road completely and stop motorists from passing at particular hours. This tendency or this practice has created a situation where many vehicles queue up and stay in one place for very long hours. And these security checkpoints are normally manned by 3 or 4 poorly equipped military and/or police personnel. And this also creates a soft target. Boko Haram elements and other incited, what they want is they want to create panic. They attack those targets so that the news will go out that they have made an impact. So, Mr. Speaker, part of our resolution should be to stop this practice henceforth. No more piling of vehicles, long queue of vehicles, 50, 30, sometimes even 100 in one spot for a long time. This practice should be stopped. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah.
Mr. Speaker, it is rather unfortunate that our security authorities have decided to use checkpoints as a major way of checking the inflow of whatever it is into cities. It is truly unfortunate because that has created by itself a danger of gathering people in one place, easy targets for attack. Mr. Speaker, some years ago it was said that the checkpoints should be removed and rather gadgets should be used to check the flow of arms into city. We would think that it would be more proper if going forward, our security operators are advised to use technology rather than brute human beings to check inflow of security of arms into towns and cities. Speaker, as so
Thank you.
These people were sent there to protect the city. And at a point in time when they are protecting that city, they abandoned their protection point and left and went back to their beds. That is the preposterous aspect of it. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, it's a known fact. The threshold time for curfew in Maiduguri is 10:30 p.m. to 6 a.m. Why closing entrance into Maiduguri from 5 p.m.? That's another intriguing question. That what is wrong? If the threshold time for curfew in Maiduguri town is 10:30 p.m. to 6 a.m., why closing the gate, not allowing people to access the city from 5 p.m.? Granted, there is no threshold for even the curfew. Is it not the responsibility of the military or the security to check everybody, get convinced, then allow people to access the city, regardless the time? Is time a factor in protecting people? So my take here is, Mr. Speaker, let's advise the military authority or the security authority to review that timing for closing, accessing Maiduguri. Maybe they can extend the time. I think that's my take on this, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.